You need a Buzzquote. Get one at BUZZQUOTE Buzzquote.me. We are going on a journey. In January 2014, deep in the Colombian rainforest, paramilitary forces stormed the luxury compound of the notorious and reclusive drug lord Pablo Ramirez, the world's leading distributor of high-quality cocaine. Pablo was an eccentric collector, not only of art, luxury automobiles, and fine wines, but also of animals, especially reptiles. Reviewing the remains of Pablo's ledgers, the investigators found that the drug lord had been routinely trading with corrupt Taiwanese medical researchers. He sent them cocaine. They sent him highly concentrated growth hormone. But it was in the cavernous 5-story basement dug under Pablo's house that investigators found something incredible. A captive snake 976 feet in length. That is nearly the size of the Eiffel Tower. And
wait a second. I don't believe it. Is any of that really true?
Well, yeah, actually, I think this is just basically a bunch of random pictures. So technically, in actual, physical reality, this may not be 100% true. But...
Stop. Okay, let's start this over again. I am going to take you on a journey deep into interstellar space, across vast deserts and trackless jungles, into the molten core of stars which burn with the heat of 1 billion nuclear reactors, into a drop of water teeming with microscopic creatures, onto the great expanse of the Canadian tundra, where we will track the dangerous and elusive wolverine at speeds exceeding 300 miles per hour on the world's fastest racetrack, up a remote tributary of the Amazon River, where a primitive native tribe have built their own fully functional Christian dating website using only a Commodore 64, 17D batteries, and a roll of electrical tape, back to the year 2500 BC, where I will teach you to speak like this. Deep into the mind and daily routines of Mike Schultz, a retired Internal Revenue Service examiner living in Lorain, Ohio, who loves to play golf, swims twice a week at the local college pool, and has recently subscribed to 3 different fly fishing magazines since he figures that he can always cancel whichever one he doesn't like. And into the frankly really annoying world of Jane McClaskey, a 4th grade teacher in La Jolla, California, who still can't figure out how to turn off the damn beeping her refrigerator makes every time she has the thing open for more than like 3 seconds, even though she already called the 800 number and talked to someone in India for like 45 minutes. And it's just complete bullshit that these damn companies don't either A, ship their stupid products with manuals that someone could actually read, or B, hire people for their call centers who can speak the English language, instead of these people in the third world who are obviously well-intentioned and trying their best, but are clearly just reading from scripts and couldn't explain to you how to screw in a light bulb. And what really pisses her off is it wasn't even her idea to get this fridge. It was her damn ex-boyfriend Nate, that layabout supposed artist, who insisted on getting this ridiculous whale of an appliance so he could keep his stupid microbrewed ale in it to show off to his idiot hipster friends when they came over to waste time, take bong hits,
Wait, now you're doing it. You're going off on a tangent about some nonsense. Who the hell cares about any of this stuff? I'm taking over. We are going on a journey into the urban hellhole of China's most polluted cities, into the incredible circuits of the modern microchip, into the robot-powered manufacture of everything from mobile phones to Japanese sex dolls. High up the Andes Mountains, where we will test experimental native crops while teaching local children how to use the PlayStation 2. And to Lebanon, Missouri, where Shelley Thomas runs the coffee shop downtown, which closes sharply at 4 on Fridays because Shelley goes to an herbal medicine class every Friday evening, which she joined after reading an advertorial on the internet because you just simply cannot trust these big corporate pharmaceutical companies, and you really must educate yourself now about natural, plant-based medicinals.
Stop. Look, you're leading us into nowhere land. Just be quiet for a second. I'm gonna do this right. I am gonna take you. You know what? Forget that. We've got something a lot more important to cover. It starts like this.
website that you should go to now because it's cool. Yeah, it's a website that you should go to now because it's cool.
This here, sir, is a video that will change your life. If you are sick, this will heal you. If you are suffering, I have come here to ease that suffering. If you can't get your Wi-Fi to extend coverage into your kitchen and are therefore unable to check the weather on your refrigerator, I do feel your pain. But first, I need to ask you a very simple question. What are you doing with your time? Why do I ask? Well, did you know that right now, while you're sitting here on YouTube wasting time, you're also being cheated, you're being ripped off, and rich dudes are stealing your money for no reason? Now, if that's okay with you, please stop this video and go back to wasting time. But if you're not okay with that, then you need to go right now to buzzquote.me. Spend some time looking around my YouTube channel. I think you'll agree that what I've done here is totally unprofessional. I mean, right now, I'm featuring a video on my channel entitled Am I Gay? And another called Why My Videos Suck. Dig deeper and you'll find a handful of mostly incomprehensible videos made by some dude with suspenders and a bow tie, but very little evidence whatsoever that this guy has any idea what he's talking about. You may find many of the points made here to be self-contradictory, even nonsensical, and it is a matter of factual certainty that a lot of the stuff in this channel is quite gay. But still, this is what happened when I put Buzzquote.me on YouTube. I got over 15 million views. I got tens of thousands of comments. People were interested. People made fun of my list, but the story that I told just made sense, and it's a story I'm going to tell you right now. Let's start at the beginning. 100,000 years ago, your ancestors used stone tools to hew their sustenance out of unforgiving soil. These people's lives were nasty, they were brutish, and they were short, and they did not have access to sufficient wireless internet connectivity. You, on the other hand, have been born into a strange and magical age where people go to work in skyscrapers, don't know where their food comes from, and get really upset when stores run out of unnecessarily large television sets. This is not the natural order of the world, but it is reality. And our modern world is a complicated place, a very complicated place. To deal with all this complication, you and I make many thousands of mental shortcuts in order to navigate our world. Do I want cashew whipped cream on my latte? Should I upgrade to the newest version of Android, even though the last time I did that, it messed up all my contacts? How can I possibly share a photo library between my girlfriend's iMac and her mom's crappy 2005 era digital photo frame that keeps switching into Portuguese mode? These are the sorts of questions and challenges that make our world so complicated, and that we make shortcuts in our minds to deal with. In order to deal with complexity, people fall into patterns. A man named David F. Wallace, a lifelong resident of Enfield, Massachusetts, went to a fast food restaurant for breakfast every single workday from 1985 until 2008, never spending more than $7 per meal, and always eating at least one USDA portion of meat and drinking between 6 and 10 ounces of coffee each and every single workday. In that time span, for a total of 5,774 fast food breakfasts consumed. He was reported to be in excellent health, played golf twice a week, but did finally die suddenly while shopping for televisions at a local electronics retailer. A bystander called 911, EMTs came with an ambulance and took away David's cold, limp, and quite dead body. That evening, when one of the emergency medical technicians got off his shift, that EMT returned to the very same electronics retailer and purchased a small television set just for usage in his kitchen. So people make shortcuts and fall into pattern. And when money is involved, certain individuals or companies might try to take advantage of those shortcuts to try to convince you of something that doesn't actually exist. Doesn't exist at all. Like a unicorn, like the Loch Ness Monster, like a talking lizard. This is a story about identifying and neutralizing one particularly bad and costly mental shortcut that many of us have unfortunately made. Okay, here goes. So I was checking my online statements recently, and I was noticing that I got charged every month in my account for something called insurance, which I never used. I mean, sure, I had bills to pay, but they were all for stuff that I used, like my house, or my phone, or my internet. But this insurance thing, I didn't actually use it, so why was I paying for it? And after I did some research, I realized that what was happening was that all this insurance money was going to rich guys who were spending it on their fancy homes, fancy boats, and other rich guy stuff that they used to show off to their friends. So I got pissed, and I made this website called Buzzquote.me. What is Buzzquote.me? Well, clearly it's some stupid website that I threw together, but also it's a way to bypass all the branding and other middleman nonsense and really save money. And most importantly, you need to know that getting a Buzzquote is free and that you can get a Buzzquote yourself by going right now to Buzzquote.me. It'll take about 2 minutes. Okay, more detail. Every year, the auto insurance industry spends about $5.9 billion on advertising. Advertising they force you to watch on TV, on billboards, in magazines, everywhere. This advertising, which usually features hilarious stuff like lizards, cavemen, white rooms, etc., is totally and utterly meaningless. Like, really meaningless, irrelevant. The travel distance in millimeters of a key struck on the IBM Model M keyboard. The average age in minutes of the potted plants on the first floor of the Oberlin College Library. The insurance industry's branding is meaningless because in the real world, all auto insurance is actually the same. It doesn't matter what company you get it from, it's just a question of finding the lowest rate. But the big insurance advertisers spend so much money because they are trying to brainwash you into a simple mental shortcut, that you should go directly to whatever brand is most heavily advertised to get your coverage. And the result is that there are now millions of idiots in this country who actually believe that there is a difference between different brands of auto insurance. These people have not yet figured out that they are being lied to, that all insurance is the same. You pay a monthly premium. If you get in an accident, you call your insurance company. You hope you get some cash for repairs, and you hope your insurance rate doesn't go up too much. Now, you may be wondering, is this just complete bullshit? Do I have any idea what I'm talking about? I'm glad you're asking these important questions because actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. Most of what I'm saying here, I basically thought up when I was really stoned on high-quality California medical marijuana. But even a person as clearly paranoid and delusional as myself can tell you for sure that the goal of the insurance companies is to maximize revenues while minimizing expenses. Let's translate this. These companies want to charge you as much as possible each month, and if you have to make a claim, they then want to pay out as little as possible. Not rocket science. Let me say it one more time. It does not matter which company you get insurance from, they are all the same. Now, in this video, you might notice that we haven't mentioned the names of any of these insurance companies. There's a very good reason for this. We don't want to get our asses sued off. That would suck. And these companies do not f around. They retain very big, very serious law firms so that if you so much as make a nasty tweet about them, get ready to be crushed like a disgusting little bug. And that stuff about rich guys taking your money, we're not making this up. The CEOs of these big insurance companies make a lot of money. A lot of money. Oh, but they have some really great uses for all that money they're taking out of your bank account. The planes, the boats, the private schools, the yacht club memberships, the tasteful little apartments in Paris so their wives can go f***ing shopping for the weekend. Preposterously overpriced furniture, the household staff, the new iPads because their idiot kid just smashed the old one, the pool maintenance, the weekend house, the fees for horse stabling, the outdoor fountains, the classic cars, the cost of renting a summer cottage in the Hamptons, but then at the last minute canceling because you're worried about bed bugs, the $1,700 shoes, the nonsensical art collection, the burled walnut trim in the interior of the office libraries, the purebred dogs, the ridiculous high-end kitchens, which they'll never use anyway because they just can't be bothered and would rather order dinner from that Italian place in town. The ski vacation, the rustic farmhouse dining table that they had flown in from that charming antique store in London, the occasional Russian hooker, the you name it. The fact is that being ridiculously rich ends up being really, really expensive. And that's why they need to keep putting those stupid ads on TV and why they make you pay for them. Now, everyone knows that you need to get a set of new insurance quotes at least once every 6 months. So, how are you going to do that? Well, the big insurance carriers are spending billions of dollars every year to brainwash you, to make you think that you should go directly to their websites or call their 800 numbers. But step back from this for a second. How could it possibly be the case that you will get the best deal by only approaching one company? That's insane. Of course, you can only get the best deal by asking as many companies as possible. And this is why Buzzquote.me is so awesome. Now, again, it might seem to you that Buzzquote is some stupid website run by a pretentious, failed musician with a prominent speech impediment. You might be right, but also, Buzzquote is a direct conduit between you and any insurance company that comes to the table. Go to Buzzquote.me, spend about 2 minutes with our rockstar online form, and you'll open yourself up to quotes from any and all insurance companies who can service your state, not just the one well-known brand that is spending the most on TV advertising. And here's the other thing. When you go direct to a big insurance carrier, what you are doing is financially rewarding these companies for their huge advertising spend. You are paying them to continue to try to brainwash you. You're paying them extra to reward them for advertising to you. Crazy, right? The big insurance companies don't want you to use Buzzquote. They want you to rely on bad mental shortcuts. Rely on the fact that some lizard or some big brand name has been forcibly injected into your brain by their stupid advertising for the last 25 years. In fact, there is a conspiracy of misinformation on this issue. These companies systematically use irrelevant and misleading advertising tactics and pay billions of dollars each year to the big TV networks and big internet companies like Google, who own YouTube, to confuse you. Insurance can get complicated, but don't think for a second that this means that you shouldn't at the very least get your own set of competitive quotes. And that's why you need a Buzzquote. It's free, and you can get one right now at Buzzquote.me. It'll take about 2 minutes, and you could end up saving hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Buzzquote is different. We're not hiring out blimps or renaming stadiums. We're a small startup, and when we're not making stupid videos like this one, we're solely focused on getting you insurance quotes. That's it. And that's why Buzzquote is cool. You've got exactly 2 options. Either A, go direct to a big company, give them a return on their marketing investment, help pay for the refurbishment of some Connecticut executive's private pool, or B, get a bunch of low quotes at Buzzquote.me instead. I certainly know what I would do given this choice. All right. So let's look at this in a bit more detail. Let's try a simple 3-part test to see if you need a new Buzzquote. Question number 1. Did you get your insurance directly from a well-known company? This is pretty straightforward. If you call one company, they're just going to give you whatever rate they want to. No competition. Pretty obvious. Question number 2. Has it been 6 months or more since your last auto insurance quote? If it has, you're missing out. Auto insurance rates change every month. It's quite possible that yours should have gone down. But the way that the big insurance companies make money is they tend to forget to inform you of a rate decrease and keep you at the older, higher rate for as long as they can get away with it. It's sketchy, but that's the way the business works. Question number 3. Has it been 6 months or more since you've been in a serious accident? If it has, you should be rewarded with a lower premium. It's that simple. If you answered yes to any of these questions, that means you need to go right now to Buzzquote.me. Now, clearly this is some bullshit test that I concocted whereby basically anyone who took the test would end up needing a Buzzquote. But that doesn't change the fact that if you did answer yes to any of these questions, you do actually need a Buzzquote and need one right now, and furthermore have no decent reason why you still have not yet gotten off your lazy ass and spent the 2 minutes that it will take to type buzzquote.me into the address bar up there and get your totally free and actually fairly awesome Buzzquote. Again, the big insurance advertisers are relying on you to make the mental shortcut, to think, oh, well, they already have insurance from such and such a company, and they blanketed the entire universe with their advertising, so why would I need to check elsewhere? Don't believe it. The reason you need to check elsewhere, the reason you need a set of competitive quotes from buzzquote.me is because these huge companies have spent so much on advertising. I mean, somebody has to pay for that advertising. It's not like these big media companies just display that advertising for free. That advertising is paid for by you. It comes out of your monthly insurance rate. Not that cool, right? Okay, so let's back up again and look at a bird's eye view of the situation. You see, fundamentally, your insurance rates are controlled in your state capital. You're required by law to carry insurance, but your state only allows a few well-connected big insurance companies to give you quotes. Every year, lobbyists for these big insurance companies put on lots of expensive parties, and every year, the same big insurance companies write big checks to your state politicians. With this money, your politicians put ads on TV so they can get reelected, and in return, the politicians allow the insurance companies to raise their rates. The politicians stay in office, the insurance companies stay rich, you keep getting screwed. You can call this a conspiracy, you can call it politics, you can call it anything you want, but in the end, you're the one paying for it. You paid for it 10 years ago, you paid for it last year, you're paying for it this year, and until you get that free Buzzquote, not only will the cycle not end, but you will be personally paying for the cycle to continue. Kind of makes me sick when I think about it. Now, I did say previously that I don't know a damn thing about insurance, or indeed many of the subjects I have covered in this frankly chaotic and disorienting video. It's actually a minor miracle that you're still watching this thing and haven't yet f***ed off to watch whatever illegally uploaded TV show, action film, or bloopers compilation that you actually came to YouTube to watch. But between bong hits recently, I did spend about 5 minutes on Wikipedia, so I do now have some factual information to relate on the actual mind-freezingly boring subject of auto insurance. Do you know how insurance companies set your rates? They use data like your zip code, credit score, and your years of driving experience to try to price your risk as a driver. This often ends up being totally unfair because even if you are a safe driver, you're often forced to pay really high rates because of factors out of your control. And here's what's incredible. The insurance companies could fix this if they wanted to by simply allowing drivers to use a smartphone app which would record speeding and other erratic driving behavior, report this data back, and use it to give high rates to the bad drivers and low rates to the good drivers like you. This would be a fair and equitable way to price car insurance. The insurance companies could do this, but they don't. Why not? Because then they would have to lower rates for the good drivers. Bad for business. And as we've seen, although the insurance companies are regulated by state governments, nobody in state government is interested in this either. They're mostly interested in those big campaign contributions rolling in from the insurance companies. The conspiracy is actually real. Don't be fooled by fancy advertising, lizards, and high-budget brainwashing. And look, getting a Buzzquote is an absolute no-brainer because it's totally free. It will take about 2 minutes and you can conceivably save hundreds or even thousands of dollars per year. With the risk of casting the conceptual net a bit wide, let me say this. It's time to ask yourself, what kind of person are you and what do you stand for? Are you cool with getting taken advantage of? Will you go forth in a confused haze, feeling your way through the world like a person who cannot see? I don't think so. I think you're a person who takes the good with the bad. You're wary, but you don't mind to grab an opportunity when you see one. You're someone who respects others and expects the same in return. You're not easily misled, and you're generally ready to get up to date with the most economically and technologically advanced ways of doing things. When something is obviously better, you're ready to be an early adopter. In short, you're a person who will appreciate and also quite frankly deserves a Buzzquote. It'll take about 2 minutes. Get one right now for free at buzzquote.me. Man, that was epic.